America's public enemy number one in the United States is drug abuse. It is necessary to wage a new all-out offensive.
What's going on, guys? G.I. Mary Jane here. I know it's late, but I've got a breaking story for you. This afternoon, a cab driver in Baltimore City, a good Samaritan, a wonderful, amazing human being, and a freedom warrior simply for his actions today, stopped along the side of the road when he felt something was awry. When he saw one vehicle surrounded by what began with 4 cops and ended in much more. Let's take a look.
Larry Wiles reporting live. The guy he wanted to speak to the supervisor because he said the police pulled him over, and he yelling out the window saying that they trying to search him because they smell weed.
So there you have it in a nutshell. Now, this live feed went on for just under 2 hours, but I was able to get it down to 8 minutes for you. Let's take a look and see what happens. See what prompts Larry to pull over and see what's going on, what all of us citizens need to be doing right now in this age of police brutality.
This is York Road. It's about 1, 2, 3. There's a lot of cops on York Road. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 police. And this car has got tinted windows all the way around. There's a lot of cops on that side. This Baltimore City on York Road, right before you get to Belvedere, going towards Towson. Police trying to get inside that door. The person is in there. They're knocking on the door. They're trying to open up the door. Y'all need to share this video, folks. Y'all need to share this video. There's 3 police on one side and 2 on one side. The guy whoever it is, don't want the police in there. It's not looking good, y'all. It's not looking good. It's not looking good. I'm getting out.
What's the point of them pulling over in the first place?
I know. That's the key.
That's the thing. What's the point of pulling over in the first place?
That's why I'm here to find out. I was just driving down the street when I seen all this going on.
I think I seen you on live before.
Yeah.
I mean, it really disgusts me. It breaks my heart. Can you hear the fear in that man's voice? As he exclaims, "It doesn't look good, folks. It doesn't look good." We live in a society where we are so used to police officers either causing chaos or violating our rights or even being violent or, at the worst case scenario, end at the rate of 2.5 people per day, according to 2019 statistics. They even take our lives. So coming up next, you're going to see where the driver bravely explains to these officers that he knows his rights. At one point, a concerned bystander even walks up to talk to the police and she's turned away. Independent media really comes into play here. There's more of us than there are of them, and it's so important to see the truth and to spread that truth. So let's keep going.
I need his supervisor because he's breaking the law. He's recording too. This is against the law. I'm not doing anything. This is against the law because they have no right to search me or my car. I know my rights. So get the supervisor so they can let me go. I know my rights.
It's about they smell weed, so now they want to search the car. He said you cannot search the person, but you can search the vehicle.
Now, to that point, he is correct. Maryland changed their law last year, and the headlines all over town were police can't search you for the smell of weed anymore, which is correct. They can't search your person. So if you have Mother Nature's most wonderful remedy in your pocket or your bra or somewhere on your body, just smelling it does not give Maryland police the right to search you any longer. However, if they smell weed in your car, they're still allowed to ask you to get out. Is this okay? No. Again, it's the main thing that's used to approach and harass our citizens, which is all too often ending in death. You're going to see here coming up in the next clips where the police actually come and box this man's vehicle in. Let's take a look.
One, two, three. It can be block his car. Okay, this looked like the supervisor. Look like the supervisor. I don't know why Facebook messed with me. All right, once again, folks, on York Road, right at Staples, right before you get to Belvedere.
So far we're about 45 minutes into this. This gentleman is refusing for these bullies in badges to enter his vehicle because he has not committed any sort of crime. They've boxed him in. They're using intimidation tactics. They keep walking up to this vehicle with their hand on their gun, likely threatening to break the window. We can't hear exactly what's going on here. But again, this brave warrior continues to assert his rights. And the brave warrior recording it continues to get that footage. Now you have to ask yourself, if this gentleman and everybody else on the scene had not been recording, would this have ended up in a tragic incident like George Floyd? We can only imagine. Statistically, based on the numbers, it's probable. So let's watch this man bravely assert his rights as the supervisor pulls up and he demands for a warrant.
saying he knows his rights.
Everybody record this shit. Dad, record this shit. This shit ain't right. Your mama needs to be recording her there too. I'm stating my rights. I'm not zapping out. I'm stating my rights. I'm not zapping out. I'm stating my rights. It's on video. I'm not zapping out. I'm stating my fucking rights. It's on video. You see? It's for attention. Fucking window.
Independent media. This is what goes on every day.
I know my rights. What the fuck you think you are the law? And you're breaking it. Oh, you're breaking it.
He said he the law and he breaking the law.
Exactly. You are the law and you are breaking the law. You are violating my rights right now as we speak, and it happens thousands of times a day in America. It is insanity. If it's not police brutality, it's police harassment, and we clearly have a problem. This man goes on to assert his rights. He demands a warrant, and we're going to see right here how it ends. And again, we're an hour and 45 minutes into this. The people we pay to serve and protect us actually pulled this man over because of simple window tinting, and then continue to try to harass and violate his rights, causing a traffic incident, causing people to likely be late for work, causing screaming and chaos on the side of the streets, violating the very peace that they are supposed to be protecting. Now let's watch how this ends here real quick. Bravo. Bravo.
If you want to search this warrant, get a search warrant. If you want to search this vehicle, give me a search warrant.
Adam, signing in of these is not an admission of guilt, all right? You can choose to pay the fine online, or you can choose to have a day in court in which you can testify your side of the story, okay?
Believe me, if he wasn't here, I would have been they would have pulled his ass out like he was trying to resist arrest. And that's what they would have said. Resisting arrest.
Thank you.
That's what I'm talking about. Hurry up, Rolo! Hurry up!
You're going to die today.
Be safe! Yeah, well, damn. Yeah, he should have said that. Them motherfuckers could follow him.
So now all of a sudden they know how to do their job at the end once the supervisor shows up. We've already wasted an hour and 45 minutes of this gentleman's time. We've obstructed traffic in Baltimore City, one of the worst traffic areas in the country. This is disgusting, America, and this is what our taxpayer dollars are going towards. Me, personally, I think it's unacceptable. I'm going to state the statistic again. Every single day, all 365 of them, an average of 2.5 people were killed last year at the hands of police. I remember growing up, the average American had 2.5 kids. So statistically, the police are killing all of our children. Do you hear that, America? Are you okay with that? The rest of the world is rising up too, and it's so wonderful to see everybody waking up. It's so great to see everybody having their cameras out and making sure that we, the people, know what's going on, that we, the people, know whether the actions of the people who are supposed to be protecting us are in character or not. I am so sick and tired of the old, I smell weed excuse, or you fit the description. 9 times out of 10, whatever BS description they're talking about doesn't even end up being the perpetrator that has a warrant out for them. We've created regulations that give cops the ability to violate our rights on a he said, she said basis and actually play judge, jury, and executioner right there on the side of the road. This cannot stand. I've been working real hard all week to revamp and update the Platoon 420 website. So make sure you head on over there. Visit platoon420.com, and I want everybody to take the pledge. It's so important right now. All these riots, all these protests going on in the streets. Think about it. If it were not for these archaic drug laws, the police would not have the excuse to approach our young brothers and sisters, our sons and daughters. They would not have the excuse to approach these peaceful people in the first place, and therefore they would not be dying at so many dramatic, drastic rates all over the country. Visit Platoon 420. Make sure you donate to the cause. Throw $1 to hashtag Platoon 420, and then head on over and take the pledge. I will stand tall in the face of tyranny for the best interest of myself and my community. I denounce the archaic drug laws that have made victims of the people they were written to protect, and I will not support any legislation that regulates what a person puts in their body. AKA, I will not give the police the excuse to approach my neighbors and my community any longer and hurt them. Enough is enough. With a prison population comprised of 86% victimless, non-violent offenders, almost 50% of which are drug-related, these people aren't prisoners. They're captives. They're prisoners of war. They're prisoners of the drug war. They've been taken from their children, their mothers, their brothers, their sisters. They've been taken from our communities where they've been productive in church and Boy Scouts. They're breaking us apart, America. So stop arguing over whether it's Black Lives Matter or All Lives Matter. Stop arguing over who kills more people. I don't care who kills. Criminals kill. Bad people kill. And when those bad people are making up the majority of our police force, Houston, we have a problem. This is insane. Every one of us should be speaking up. Whatever it is you have to say, whatever's striking you right here in the midst of all of these protests, get out your Sharpies, make a sign, go make a difference, be the change you want to see. Encourage your children to speak their minds. Do not tell them what to think. Simply present them with the facts. Be truthful with them. Give them what this society has failed to do. If we don't fix this now, we are going to be leaving one hell of a mess for our kids. And I, for one, am not going to go down without knowing that every second of my day was spent trying to make a better world for my son and his children. If you haven't already picked up the torch of liberty that our grandparents and great-grandparents left behind, now is your time. Pick it up. Pass it on. Be an inspiration to people in your community. Don't argue. Lead by example. Act the way you want other people to act and say the things that you want to hear other people saying. Pass the compassion. Pass joints, not judgment. Actually, next Friday, a group of activists in Colorado Springs are going to be getting together right here at the Platoon 420 barracks, and we're going to be having a Sharpie party. We're going to be making some signs and heading on down to City Hall in Colorado Springs on Saturday to join our brothers and sisters in demonstration against police brutality. I was there over the weekend, and it was beautiful. There was so much inspiration. I heard a lot of ugly stories of the rubber bullets and the tear gas coming out once curfew pulled. This isn't the way we want to live. These people were not given the positions that they have to control us. They were given the positions that they have to protect us. And I don't know about you, but if you've ever been in a situation where you needed the police to protect you, it's been difficult, right? I mean, we've got child rapists getting 8 months in jail. Meanwhile, the 62-year-old man with 5 weed plants in his basement sits in on a 20-year sentence. And oftentimes they don't make it. The conditions in jail are deplorable. for somebody with an addiction problem. The conditions in jail are disgusting for anybody who is coming off of substance addiction. There are no doctors. There are only nurse practitioners. And meanwhile, when they get out, having not been encouraged to heal themselves and do better, but only beaten down in a cage, they get beaten down by society. What I'm getting at here is, even though statistically 2.5 people died every day at the actual hands of police in 2019, there's no numbers, there's no statistic for how many people died at the hands of the system. How many senior citizens were raided, arrested, terrorized, guns pointed in their face for growing the very medicine that was saving their lives, then put in a cell and deprived of that medicine until they die? Stephen Sutherland comes to mind. We reported his arrest last year, and unfortunate to report, not too long ago, he lost his battle with his conditions in jail. What about the heroin addict who caught an addiction to opioids after getting in a car accident, say? They go to the doctor, they get painkillers, and eventually they get cut off because the doctor hands them out like candy. That person now has a physical addiction and ends up on the street just trying to feel better. He doesn't want to go to substance abuse centers. Because what would his family say, right? What would his neighbors think? Might lose his job if he tries to get help for himself. But then one day, Billy Badass in a badge comes across him and throws him into a cage. As he's cut off of that opioid, and his organs are going completely batshit crazy because they don't understand what's going on, his liver fails, his kidneys fail. And he might live through his 90-day sentence, but he gets out to watch his health deteriorate. Or he gets out and his health is deteriorated so much that they can't take the pain and they commit suicide. How many lives on top of that 2.5 has the system claimed? I don't even think somebody can do the math. So before you speak out about the demonstrations, before you demonize the hashtag Black Lives Matter, remember this. This protest is about police brutality. This entire movement, this entire now global movement is about police brutality. And globally, police brutality strikes the minority community the hardest. Therefore, we must scream the loudest for them in the hopes that one day they will stop killing all of us. Stop arguing over this. I don't care what color this is. Nobody should be hurt by the people who are paid to protect them. Enough is enough. Stop worrying about labels, hashtags, race, religion, or anything else. And remember, it is not brother against brother right now. They would love for that to happen. It is us against them. And when millions of people are stepping out of the house to complain and cry and scream for help against police brutality and are met with more police brutality, we need to step back and think about why the police are being able to brutalize and harass and victimize our brothers and sisters. The answer? The archaic drug laws. We end prohibition. We end police brutality. You guys make sure you like and subscribe. Head on over to platoon420.com. Take the pledge. Sign up for the app so you can get alerts anytime a story breaks. And we report this drug war news from the perspective of us, the victims. As always, I am the Commander-in-Chief, reminding you to pass joints, not judgment. You guys, keep all of your spirits lifted right now. The world needs our light so much. Good night. Visit platoon420.com today and take the pledge. I will stand tall in the face of tyranny for the best interest of myself and my community. I denounce the archaic drug laws that have made victims of the people they were written to protect, and I will not support any legislation that regulates what a person puts in their body. Hi, I'm Joey Lee, Commander-in-Chief at Platoon 420, Director of Stoners for Kokesh, and Delegate to the 2020 Libertarian National Convention. And I'm here today with a message of unity. For too long, I have watched divisiveness, infighting, arguing, and all amongst people who share the same common end result: freedom. That's why I'm here to tell you that it's time to break the cycle. And I officially endorse Mr. Joshua Smith in his run for chair of the Libertarian National Party. So many times, in person and online, I have seen Josh break up an argument. The most typical one among libertarians is the abortion debate, right? Imagine somebody who, instead of fueling that argument, can take control of that crowd, greet it with compassion, make light of the situation, and remind those involved that even though we disagree, we still agree on one thing: freedom. In 2020, break the cycle. Cast your vote for Joshua Smith as LNC chair. My name is G.I. Mary Jane, and I approve this message.